Dr. C.K. Nandagopalan is in conversation with celebrity actor Rajesh. The series of conversation under the banner of the greatest Tamil science will provide innumerable number of information developed and left behind by the ancient Tamil civilization for the future humanity. This is one such interview between Dr. C.K. Nandagopalan and celebrity actor Rajesh. Welcome to the program.
Sir, my 5 years of association with you made me benefit many things in my life with all your research works. I'm here to interview the art of cooking. Shall I ask a few questions?
Yes.
The art of cooking. What is art of cooking?
Okay. Art of cooking is the topic that you have selected today to discuss. As you know that myself, Dr. C.K.Nandagopalan, my brother Prem Kumar, we started Research Foundation way back in 1987, working on all the different branches of life science by the ancient Tamil heritage. Out of the 64 major arts, the art of cooking is one of the most important art, which has huge amount of science behind it for our healthy life. It has been designed over a span of many thousands of years carefully to accommodate the mental health, the mental energy, the physical health and physical energy, which is normally fueled by food in us, basically the glucose metabolism, which is energy currency for our human cells to function. So our human health, both mental health and physical health, is purely dependent on the art of cooking, which has many facts and science behind it, sir.
Why cooking was made into an art?
This is a very good question. You know, the human chemistry is very difficult to understand, because we are made of 6 major atoms by 99%. That is oxygen, hydrogen, carbon, nitrogen, phosphorus and calcium. Balance 1% only your other atoms are there in the body. So nearly 92% of our construction of the human body with respect to atoms are oxygen, hydrogen and carbon. That's why we go for carbohydrate food, which is carbon, hydrogen and oxygen with 1:1 ratio. This is very important, not only us, for all the other species in the world. Whether it's animal kingdom, whether it is marine kingdom, whether it's plant kingdom, whether it's insect kingdom, whether it's a bird kingdom, everything. You see all the plants and other things. They are also carbohydrates. They are called structural material. They are called cellulose. You have to understand the entire, nature around us. You are, after all, a product of nature. So you're dependent on nature, which has created innumerable number of food for you. We should know how to select our food and in which form it should be administered inside your chemistry to the gastroenteritis system, to the digestive tract, which is very important. How to take care of your salivary glands, how to influence your salivary glands with the art of cooking, because quantitative and qualitative salivary production is very important. தமிழில் சொல்ல வேண்டுமென்றால் உமிழ்நீரோடு கலக்காத எந்த பொருளையும் உடல் ஏற்றுக்கொள்வதில்லை. The food which doesn't get mixed with the saliva will not be absorbed at the intestines, which is very important. All these physiological aspects were very carefully calculated, designed, and your art of cooking was created in such a way that you really protect your health for your better function, sir.
Oh. What are the different types of cooking?
There are many types of cookings were designed those days. The one with the steam, the one with water, The kind of equipments is also very important. The earthen pots, and sometimes instead of metal, the wood sticks, and like sprouts. They call it as mulai kattudal. There is something called vadagam which they prepare, and they use it in the end of cooking. Which will detoxify many chemical level toxins in the food. And how to detoxify your grains is also a part of a type of cooking. Mainly when you cook rice, you have to cook it with excess water and drain the excess water, which people don't know today. Then you may ask that the drained excess water is a food by itself. Yes, it's a food by itself. It's not for you and me, because we work in the shade. We don't expose ourselves to the sun. Those who work under the sun, the agriculturists, those people who work lay the roads and bridges, and they constantly work between 9 and 5 under the sun. They get a lot of energy from the sun. Their liver have the capacity to digest the toxin in the excess water. The pickles, it's a type of cooking. We cannot call that pickle as a processed food. No. It is some kind of fermented food to increase your lactobacillus bacteria in the stomach, which is very important. The grain food is cooked in a separate manner. The vegetables are cooked in a separate manner. The meat and the marine kingdom food is cooked in a separate manner. The greens are cooked in a separate manner. We have various levels and types of cooking with which we make that particular variety of food material available to us, which is procured from the nature, and make sure the toxins are removed, and make sure it is digestible, it is acceptable to your dental area, and then digested easily and absorbed better. And when it goes to the bloodstream after scanning in the liver, it should provide all the nutrients required to our cells. So we have many different types of cooking, which is a huge subject which we cannot accommodate more than this.
How many types?
There are nearly about 16 types are there.
16
that is there
types,
in Tamil.
okay.
That we can have a separate talk on that later.
Why should one cook and eat?
Yeah, this is very important. Why cooking is required, why one should cook and eat. So the historians talk about 2,000 years, 4,000 years. More than that they cannot go, because nature doesn't allow you to see your past. Yes, 100 years is only 4 generations. If you take 1,000 years, it's 40 generations. If you take 10,000 years, it's 400 generations. No, we are not that small category of history. We are billions and billions of years old. You have millions of generations you have crossed and come. There are human beings who were 14 feet tall. The skeletons were taken, 11 foot tall. We have shrunk now to 5 to 6 feet. This art of cooking has been designed over a span of thousands of years with contribution by many, many scholars who don't even know the names of it. We don't have such history with us. Why should one cook and eat? This is a very important question. We have been eating our food cooked in a particular manner to suit the human chemistry. You cannot eat the raw food. We must have been doing that when we were in primitive stages, which we don't know how many billions of years before. But many, many lakhs of years, we've been eating only cooked food. So you were born to a father and mother. They were eating cooked food. Their parents were eating cooked food. And you are designed to eat cooked food. You are not designed to eat raw food. If you eat a raw vegetable today, you will start puking in the nights. Because the microorganism, you are not going to take the load. So, ஒரு பொருளை வேக வைத்து தான் உட்கொள்ள வேண்டும். That is, you have to cook the food, make it soft, remove the microbes, and make sure it suits your the dental area, the salivary part of it. We have no choice, because we've been practicing this over a span of millions of years. One has to cook and eat. This is very important.
Art of cooking and subject of toxicology.
This is the most brilliant stuff that they have designed those days. There are three types of toxins in the food. Everything is being created in the nature by the five supreme elements. Panjabhudam, what we call it in Tamil. In India, that we have a tremendous history on that. You have first molecular level toxins, the molecules which have higher molar mass. If you take metabolism, it's divided into catabolism and anabolism. Catabolism, break down material where energy is produced. Anabolism will convert the breakdown material by catabolism where energy is consumed. Such a balance act by the human metabolism. It's very, very simple. If you look at it, it's very complicated. You want to look at it with an electron microscope, it's going to be very, very complicated. Now, anything above 200 molar mass means molecular weight, catabolism will not break. So, the molecular level toxins are those molecules which are higher in molar mass. If you take wheat, you have 4 types of gluten, all are 592 to 599 molar mass. If you take rice, there are many complex carbohydrates which are more than 400 molar mass. So, by cooking it in water, by removing those excess starch, complex carbohydrates, the balanced rice left is with lower molar mass material, easily being combated by the catabolism, which is a major part of metabolism. This is one. 2, the microbes, like how we have innumerable number of microbes. 100 trillion cells make a human body, and each and every cell is equated to 200 to 500 microorganisms depending on the physical personality of an individual. Suppose if you have 300 microorganisms for each cell, it is 100 trillion into 300 trillion microorganisms make your body. Like that, every vegetables you take, every animal kingdom you take, eggs you take, bird meat, anything you take. You take a tomato, there are billions of microorganisms inside. You take a potato, there's a billions of microorganisms inside. That's not going to suit us. So with the level of cooking, by adding so many ingredients with that, we make sure everything is killed. Beyond that, if anything is left, after the digestion, it just go to the intestine and absorb through the portal vein. It has to only go to the liver. It cannot go anywhere else. The liver will scan and kill it. So this is the second level. Microorganisms, part of the raw material in your food, is second level of this. Then you have carbon 14, which is another part which is taken care in cooking. Now the fourth one is also there for us now. Too much of artificial fertilizer and too much of highly toxic pesticides, which is a huge contamination in our food, which also has to be taken care with your cooking. If you're going to eat raw salads, which is not good for you, today if you eat raw salads, which is not good for you, no way. It is very, very important that you cook your food and eat. You make sure all your toxic part of the food, take some 1 or 2 liters of water, put some salt, cut all the vegetables, soak it in that for 5-10 minutes, drain it, take it out and cook it.
Yeah.
There are many types, there are many precautions that we have to take. This is why subject of toxicology is closely connected with art of cooking those days. Barring which is the chemical contamination these days.
Can we store cooked food?
Not at all. No. We are supposed to eat the cooked food immediately. In ancient science very clearly says cook your food, eat it within 24 minutes. That means eat it very hot. The more hot you eat, the more better for you. After 24 minutes, he says, they very clearly researched and kept and understood the fact that the development of microorganism is going to be, as the food becoming cold, it's going to go haywire. They're saying after 24 minutes, don't eat your cooked food. If that is the case, we do have the refrigerators today in every house. We store all the cooked food. You go to America, you see the American Indians who live in America. They are so busy between Monday to Friday. On Saturday they do the household work, and Sunday they cook elaborate food. They make huge amount of sambar, rasam and all that stuff. They divide them into 5-10 packs. Every afternoon they take one pack of rasam and sambar. Every night they take one. And the cooked food is stretched beyond 1 week, which is not good for you. No. because refrigeration by itself develops its own microorganisms which survives in that temperature, and that's going to contaminate your food. You may say that, oh, I cannot use refrigerator, I cannot store the cooked food and all that stuff, how will I survive? We understand, but I want you to understand one. You see the airports, the railway stations, the bus stations, there's so much of crowd, bustling, traveling in all parts of India, all parts of the world. You feel so happy by looking at them. Please go to the hospitals. You see double that crowd in every hospital. That is so sad. Why? Because one of the major stuff is your refrigeration. You store your cooked food and eat. If that is your choice, we cannot help you, only giving you the facts.
Right. What should be the fuel for cooking?
This is very important. You see, the liquid petroleum gas is a major stuff what we use in the world today, ever since the oil. Only with the beginning of 1900s, only after Second World War, huge refineries have come and you refine your crude, you get 6 different gases. The first one is the petroleum gas, the second one is ethane, then the methane, then the butane, and then the propane. You get the 6th gas, which is highly toxic in nature. They put it in a funnel and burn it constantly. If you see the refineries, there's always been a funnel which is burning. This liquid petroleum gas is separately removed, cooled it at -38 and becomes liquid. That's why it's called LPG, which is put in the cylinders and given to you, or channel distribution with which it comes to you. You see, you have to understand the fact, when it burns blue. A blue flame is always toxic in nature. It should never be used for cooking. It's true. You take the firewood, when it burns yellow. You would have seen that. You may ask a question, if all the houses, you have 24,000 people live in a square kilometer in Chennai, if everybody has to burn their, firewood and cook. Fine, we understand your question. But I'll ask you another question. The firewood cooking is always tastier, you agree?
Yeah.
Your gas cooking is not tastier.
Not
now
tastier.
You know.
That much. Yes.
So, fuel for cooking is definitely not your liquid petroleum gas. I'm very sorry. The heat generated by burning different materials are different in chemistry. Please understand this. It's not the same. You may say, I am getting heat when I burn firewood, I am getting heat when I burn LPG, I am getting heat when I burn a paper. No, I am sorry. It's not the same. If you're going to get a fire wound, it can heal faster. If you're going to get the same fire wound by burning yourself with a silencer of a bike, it will take weeks and months for you to heal. It is the same only, no? Definitely no much research have been done with respect to the bad effect, ill effect that we get by cooking with liquid petroleum gas today. No works have been done. They think we have a fuel, we don't create pollution, we keep our kitchen neat. Fine, good. You keep your house clean, you keep your kitchen clean, but do you keep your internal health clean? No. This is the fact.
Yeah. What are the bad effects of processed food?
Processed food are the killers. That you have many research for that. Many research have been done. Processed foods have started in the last century, ever since Second World War, processed food. Today you have more than 250 to 300 million Tetra Pak food is available in the market, on the shelf for you to buy. They are all already cooked and preservated. This preservation becomes a problem. They are chemicals. You must be knowing MSG, monosodium glucamide. If you go to the greatest neurosurgeon Dr. Russell Blaylock, who talks about, who turned into a researcher and made a lot of research on the food and nutrition, how badly our brain function can be pulled down with MSG, monosodium glutamate. And your artificial sweeteners, those Cokes and Pepsi, Diet Cokes and Pepsis, how it can push you to depression. Now, basically, the food is to give you the energy currency for the human cells to function. 75% of that human currency is spent by your brain, which is less than 2 kilos in weight. If you are 70 kilos, your 68 kilos of the body takes only 25% of the glucose that you consume, which is the energy currency, converted to ATP molecule by the mitochondria to drive the RNA and DNA of your cell. But the brain needs the 75% of the glucose because so much of processing is going on there. You're not going to benefit yourself by eating cold food, because resistant starch is not going to be absorbed by the body. Enough of glucose is not going to come into your blood. Enough of energy is not going to go to the brain, and brain function, the mental health is very important. Unless your mental health is good, your physical health will be in order. So processed food, which can harm you to the core. In 1930, there was one valley in Switzerland. There's a documentary there in the YouTube. They have no access to the outside world. There was a community living self-sufficient inside. They were all whole and healthy. Finally, the Swiss government made a roadways through the mountains to reach these people. After 1930, when the link was established with the outside world, all the processed food came in. Within 20 years, the first disease hit them was dental problem, decay, tooth. One after another, all the problem came to that community health-wise. That's because of your processed food. This was a very clear research paper was being made. So the processed food is the one which is basically giving us all types of ill health. I'm not against that industry, but I'm telling you the scientific fact behind it. My job is to collect information, fact-finding machine, gather information, what's happening. I study the ancient Tamil life heritage life science. I compare it with the modern science, how they do it. They do understand, but you cannot stop it.
Why we should not use microwave and the induction stove for cooking?
Yeah, you see, every house have today microwaves, but nobody knows. You have ocean of information in the internet. You can go and study, but we don't have the time. Or we don't have the interest and we don't have the awareness to go and study them. A microwave works with 2 to 2.3 gigahertz radio frequency radiation. Are we supposed to eat our food with radio frequency radiation? Is that correct? Commercially, they made a beautiful machine, sold it to all parts of the world, made a fantastic business, made their profits. When you put a metal inside, it cracks. You cannot. So microwave resistant, all are plastics. So plastics you put your food inside. Yesterday cooked biryani or pulao or something like that to heat it. The RF radiation was going to come and heat the water molecules of the food, from which the food gets heated up. Imagine the food is getting heated, the container is keeping quiet. You may call it as a magic. I'm able to eat only my food. That's good. But how are you going to get yourself spoiled with that? That's not the way. Induction stove, 110 to 130 kilocycle, magnetic kilocycle. There the metal will become heat, with which the heat is transferred to the component kept inside. If you keep dry leaf without any moisture inside the microwave, however long, minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, nothing will happen to it. The same thing which you keep it on a metal vessel, the same dried leaf, and put it on the induction stove, it will become an ash within few minutes because the heat of the metal which is going to smash it down. That's a different heat altogether. Magnetic cycle heat, is that what that we need to cook our food? No way. That's not going to help you. There will be a huge amount of molecular change in your food because of that heat. Every heat is not the same. So these two things are one of the major two different type of machines with two different type of concepts, which is absolutely not good for your health.
Why hotel cooking is not good for health?
Today you see a country like India, the population is so big. We have crossed 130 crore people. That is 1.3 billion. Both husband and wife working, so much of restaurants. Every building has a restaurant today in Chennai. You go to a main road, every building has a restaurant. Because people have no time to cook. We have forgotten cooking. I have seen American women saying, instead of me wasting my time in cooking, I go for my gym. So you are left without any choice other than to eat the processed food. So here what we do is we go to the hotel, and today your Swiggy's have come, your Ola has come, your Uber has come. All kinds of service providers have come. You just take your smartphone, you download your app and you put it, you get the kind of food, it will be delivered in your house. Now what happens? The procurement of raw material to the hotel may not be good sometime. The cleanliness, they may not have washed it sometime. These are all minus things, small things, it's okay. But the basic cooking is done in a high flame, very high flame. Because they have to cook it very fast. If you ask for a chicken tikka masala, the chicken pieces are already pre-cooked and kept. They'll take some masalas and put it, and few pieces of that portion of that chicken. They keep it in the burner. Those are big burners. Within 2 minutes it gets cooked. Then they take it out. You can see the flame going so much up. Nearly 1.5 feet you can see the flame. High flame cooking where the carbonization is more. Of course, when you go to a hotel and eat the hot food made with the chef and all that, they studied food science and all that stuff, they can give you a tasty food to your tongue. No doubt. Because in the end, they put some white butter and balance the whole thing, it becomes tasty for you. Which we don't do at home. At home, we cook for small number of people. In the hotel, we cook for hundreds and thousands of people. They cannot do cooking with small flame. They have to cook cooking with big flame. Those steamed machines which can steam your rice in 180 seconds. That's not good for you. Definitely not good for you. No way. But we need to eat something when we are outside. We have no other choice other than to depend on the hotel. That has its own effect. Very simple. So it is better today, as long as you are at home, if you are not traveling, or if you are traveling to a destination where you have known relatives or friends or anything, it is better to stick at home food because the food raw material is so much contaminated with chemical contamination of chemical fertilizers and all those kind of artificial stuff and pesticides and so on to kill the germs and protect the yield and all that stuff. It's better to eat home cooked food. Hotel food, if there is no choice, yes, you have to depend on it because you have to survive yourself. Otherwise, no.
My last question, sir. What is the oil one should use for cooking?
Yeah, this is where everybody has misled us completely. Refined oil, double refined oil, with all chemicals, they clean it, they give you sparkling oil and all that. It's all not good. Now the people have realized everywhere the wooden check has come now. You can see everywhere in Tamil Nadu, everywhere, Chennai also. People have realized now. Oil is very simple. What your parents have used, what their parents have used, what your generations have used. Gingerly oil, stick to that oil. That suits you. Geography is very smart. If you are somebody brought up in Tamil Nadu, geography has given you so much of food around you in your soil. That is what is suitable to you. Sunflower oil. Sunflower is not a food, sir. It's a flower. Do we produce so much of sunflower to extract oil from those seeds compared to the sunflower oil that we sell in India? Please think. Millions of tons of sunflower oil is sold in India under the name of sunflower oil. Do we produce so much of sunflower? No. Then what it is? I won't tell you this truth. You will understand this later. But flour is not our food. I'm sorry. That flour we don't cook and eat. We cook and eat coconut. We cook and eat gingerly seeds. We cook and eat groundnuts. These are our oil. For example, olive oil comes from Europe. Olive oil is not supposed to be cooked, heated up. Sorry. Another important thing is put a frying pan and you deep fry things. Once the oil is heated up and cooled, there will be something left over. It should not be heated up again. It becomes carcinogenic. And everybody knows, but no hotel follows that. They'll be keep on using it. They will top it up with some good oil. Again, they will burn it.
Okay.
This is for their profitability. Who gets affected in the bargain? People like us who go and eat. I'm not criticizing. Even if I have a hotel, I may be doing the same. But here we are discussing about the facts, how to protect ourselves. Very simple. Oil is one thing. What your parents have used, what your generations have used, please use that oil. Try to buy the natural stuff without any refining. We don't need refined oil at all. Very simple, sir.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much for your interview, sir.
Thank you very much,
Thank you.
Rajesh.